Hi everyone, it's Monica with Scrap Saturdays, and this is my completed Junque Canada Day mini album. And like I always say, I love the way it turned out. This was super easy because it was just put everything that I had left over that was red, white, black, and a little hint of pink somewhere in the middle there. But it was a lot of fun. Canada is where I was born, so to me it represents obviously where I was born and who I am and how I qualify myself as a Canadian citizen. But it represents courage because my parents are not from Canada and they immigrated here many years ago. I can't see myself now at the age of 36, ever having the courage at the age of 20 to pack up and leave all of my friends, parents, and siblings behind and coming to a country where I couldn't even speak the language. That would terrify me. So when I see a Canadian flag, it represents the courage that my parents had to come here to give me the best life I could ever have. I've never done a Canada Day theme. I've never tried it, but I have to truly be honest and say that I am quite inspired by all the American flags that I see on YouTube and how patriotic Americans are for their flag and for their country. And so I feel that in my heart, it was due time that I did take a stand and show my pride as well. I didn't use everything that I collected in my basket or in my beginning of my supplies. I actually found my Teresa Collins chipboard that I had bought a long time ago, and it was already red, so that's what my front and back cover turned out to be. It is a journal, and it turned out very chunky. And so basically I used some white paint around the edges of the mini album just to paint it out. And this is a big claspy magnet that will hold down some maybe reminders or things that I want to add to it. This is a flag that I fed some ribbon to scrunch it up where the little pole is supposed to go, and some tulle. The chipboard pieces that I collected, and I put some pattern paper on the back, and then those zipper pulls that I had purchased at the dollar store. It closes with this, I still don't know what it's called. It keeps it pretty closed. So on the inside, like I said, it's one of those junk type where it was scrap pieces of paper or full pieces of paper of pads I had never used before, but it was no new paper. So some of the papers are cut at odd shapes, some of them are punched with border punches to hide some of the not so right odds and ends. I use the same stamping throughout because that's my technique, that's my style, and this book is totally for me. I didn't make it to please anyone. It was just, if I liked it, I glued it down. If I thought it went there, I did it. So hopefully you enjoy it and it inspires you. But this is a vellum piece, and those felt maple leaves that I had. My ink bled through to the other side, but I'm okay with that. I don't know if I showed that, but I have these little maple leaf brads, and I've had them for a long time. I usually just use them for my fall layouts and stuff like that. Here I used a Martha Stewart border punch, and from all my wear and tear, it's already taken a beating. Piece of paper. It's a little band, a postcard, some more of that fabulous glitter paper with some lace on the bottom, these beautiful brackets, and I cut up some lined paper and just put them intricately into the book just here and there so that I could write down my thoughts. One of those Elsa fabulous pages, of course, how could I not put that in there? And this is all that chipboard from that pack that I had showed you from the beginning of my supplies video. Some of those paper clips are throughout my album too. Some more paper. I ran that cardstock, I forgot what it's called, Coordinations, and I sanded it through my Tim Holtz Bingo die. I painted some journaling spots onto the pattern papers that I had left over. And And I just went on, and I just did whatever I thought, you know, made me happy, and that's how I made it. Tucked the postcards. I didn't really plan it out too much, just so happened to be that I kind of liked the way it turned out, just the way I was working on things. This chipboard is the chipboard that I always incorporate in my mini albums, except I didn't put a photo on it this time. I just painted it with white acrylic paint from Heidi Swapp, and I think I'll put a picture on the back. And this is another band with some leftover Teresa Collins paper. When I had this piece of paper, it still has the name and the place it was made. I used the chipboard corners to add some weight to the lined paper. A little loose guy down here. There's that little Canada passport thing that I said I didn't know, but it went through my Bind It All like butter. So this leatherette stuff cuts through it really well. That's where I tucked in the Portugal sticker that I had purchased, and I'll probably put some pictures and stuff tucked in there as well. The continuation of the vellum and the double stamping. Another paper clip. Postcards. This is a vellum envelope that I cut out with my Cricut. It's the Father's Day envelope on wild card, and I believe this was cut at 4 1/4. There's another one of those grommets that I seem to love using. And just the same type over and over, just using things. Another one of those crocheted flowers from my mother-in-law. These frames are all able to have pictures slip through them later on. This is another tag that I made with the leftover glitter paper and that dream catcher that I got from the dollar store. This envelope has a little vellum tag inside from a leftover piece from cutting up all my other stuff. I tried to not throw anything away. Another Elsa page, because I love the way she does that. Just some scraps. This is turned into a little pocket fold there. Another envelope cut out with my wild card. Again, same thing, the frame is open at the top. Lace trim. Another grommet and some more stamping. Here I did something really funky. I hold it down with a paper clip, but it's just a flap to hold in my lined pieces of paper, and I just like the way that looked. And yes, the frame can hold a little tiny photo if I choose to. This is actually a little pocket, and I just tucked in the flap before I glued it down through my Cuttlebug folder. Some more lined paper. My trim's going through some torture here, but again, another one of those beautiful brads. A postcard, that white shimmery piece of paper. Again, I painted and stamped there just to add some difference. This is my back cover. And that's what I did, and I loved it, and I added these brackets. And I had painted and stamped and a little bit of lace trim at the bottom of that. And it's chunky, and there's my little moose guy. And then at the end of my binding that ties together is my little maple leaf with the rhinestones on the stem. So I love it, and I will be using it, and I will be putting some pictures in there too. And I won't be adding any more embellishments, I don't believe, because I don't want it to not be able to close it at all. I think all I can really do now is just slide some pictures and even ask people some questions about, you know, Canada Day and maybe my kids. I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but it will be about Canada Day this year for sure. And just anything else that I want to add there about my heritage. And like I said, it's the first time I ever made one, and I feel so proud. It makes me smile but stand tall at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was really easy because there's no thought. It was just cut and trim a little bit of maybe the crookeder pieces of paper, and everything was just a theme. It was easy to do. So junk journals are kind of fun. I see that everyone's kind of going into their scrap bins and putting whatever they've got left over or that favorite piece of paper. I definitely will make another one, but this is just to start. So happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians. Again, thanks to all of my subscribers, and I'm really, really proud of this one. So even though it's not got any roses in it or anything fancy and not too much bling, but it's got the most important part, which is where I was born. So thanks again, guys. Have a great day.